Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Goof Troop podcast. This is episode 2. Um, I'm Jared, along with the co-hosts Nathan
Hello.
and Zach.
What up?
So, yeah, let's just go into it. I wanted to start off with talking about something that happened pretty recently that I forgot was even going to happen, which was Gamescom, um, which is annual, I'm pretty sure, right? Whereas just big companies come together and they're like, "Hey, new games," or is it just Xbox? I think it might be just Xbox.
I mean, E3 is like a games conference, right?
But E3 hasn't happened in like
Yeah,
year. They
E3
canceled
doesn't
E3
happen
like
anymore.
years ago. It's usually Game Awards where that happens. I think this is, anyways. Games get announced, and there's some pretty big ones, that put a big old goofy smile on my face. Um, so I say we just go down the list and then talk about that because I think there's some big exciting ones. So here's a list of them. Okay. The first one I'm seeing right here is Mafia. A new Mafia game is coming out next year. It's called Mafia: The Old Country. Have you guys played the old Mafia games?
I've actually never played Mafia.
Oh, Zach,
Yeah, I played the first one, but I was young.
dude, I recently went back. Recently, as in like last year, maybe. I went back and played all of them, and they are so good. They are just incredibly well-made games, and fun. Like the story's nice, and it's just a fun game to play. So this is super exciting, at least for me. I guess you guys are just like, that's cool, but
Yeah, neutral about
I
it, I guess.
yeah, I'm super excited. I've been waiting for a new Mafia, a new Indiana Jones games. I guess for Indiana Jones fans, that's cool. um,
The last one I remember they've made, dude, was on the Wii, so that's pretty cool.
I played it in
of
Fortnite
Indiana
Lego.
Jones. Oh, true. They're making a Squid game.
Milking that shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I
I
don't I
guess
don't
right
think that's
before
gonna be.
the new season comes out. I think it's gonna be bad, but
Yeah, like Zach said, I think it's just for the money.
yeah, absolutely. Um, a new Batman Arkham series game, but it's for VR. Like, who's asking for VR Batman Arkham games? Hello? Why are they doing that?
Duh, it's me, obviously. Sorry.
Emailing them. Can you guys
I'm on
please
my
make
hands
another
and
VR
knees.
Every
game?
single day, dude. Day 125 asking for the next VR Batman game.
Man, that's just so weird. Like, I never went back and I never have played the Batman Arkham games. I just know that they're held in very high regards. Um, and they were like actually super impressive.
Again, I played the
Um,
Batman Legos. Continue.
I think I played one Lego Batman game.
Those were
that's pretty
hard.
close. But I don't know. VR is just like why? Just make a normal game. This one is super cool. I think this is really cool. So, it's called the Secret Level, and it's from Prime Video. From the people who made Love, Death, and Robots. I don't know if you guys seen that on Netflix. But it's like an animated series, and but they're like making an anthology. Um, just a bunch of different stories. From a bunch of different games in like an animated show. So like some of the games that they're making, um, the they're making a game. They're making a an episode from Armored Core, which is just like the people who made Elden Ring, a game called Concord, Crossfire, Dungeons and Dragons, Exodus, Honor of Kings, Mega Man. They're making a Mega Man episode. So that's pretty cool. I think. New World at Eternum, The Outer Worlds 2, Pac-Man. I don't know what they're gonna do with
How's
Pac-Man,
that
but
gonna
that's
work?
pretty
What?
cool. I don't know.
Is it from the same people who
Then
made Pac-Man? Like the same
no.
company?
Well, I'm sure they're working with like Nintendo. Sure. Um.
Wait, Nintendo Design
Oh, is
made
that?
Pac-Man?
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Nintendo made Pac-Man?
No, I might not. It's Capcom,
Fact
right?
check that? That
I don't know. I don't think it's Nintendo though.
I just thought it
Pac-Man
was
was before Nintendo.
yeah, I thought like the movie Pixel made it like seem like just some
Oh
guy
shit!
made
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I'm wrong. It's Bandai Namco.
Oh,
So
really? Interesting.
They should make a
very cool.
Pac-Man game where you can like build and make forts and then shoot people, and then the last one alive wins.
It's so true.
It's not
Uh,
killing, it's eliminating.
Yeah.
yeah. But this one is super cool. I think they're also doing God of War and Ghost of Tsushima. Um, so I'm super excited to see what short stories are gonna come. They're gonna come with in those two. Um,
Are you talking about
so
short
that's exciting.
stories? Talking about games.
No. This is an animated series, like it's a show.
Oh, I'm stupid. I'm like, how are they gonna make another Pac-Man?
No. These are just like it's just what is it like? Just a bunch of episodes. Each
Yeah,
episode
gotcha.
focuses on short stories from different games. So this is like God of War and Ghost of Tsushima, which I think is super cool. And I think they're also making a Ghost of Tsushima like live action TV show. So that's super exciting. Sifu, which is like some fighting game. Um, and then Spelunky and Unreal Tournament, when Warhammer 40,000 and the Mystery game. But yeah, I think that's super cool. I think that's super exciting. I'm excited to watch that. Um, and then the other games that were like released or announced. One big one is Borderlands 4. I'm excited. Well, excited is maybe not the right word. I'm happy that a new Borderlands is coming out, but I have no hope for the series because with the movie coming out and that being absolute garbage, it does not bode well for the game.
Yeah, I
I
was just about
think
to say I'm ready for Borderlands 2, the movie.
that movie is awful. That movie sucks. Like it super sucks. So I like which hurts like so bad because like I grew up like playing Borderlands and stuff, games like that, right? And I really like am a big fan of Borderlands. Not so much like the most recent ish games, but because the writing is not that good. But the gameplay and stuff, I'm still a big fan of it. And then having that movie just come out and have nothing to do with Borderlands was crazy, other than just the names. So that kind of sucks. But hopefully the game is good. But I guess we'll see. It comes out next year. I think most of these come out next year. Um, and then like a new like Overwatch clone type game from like Marvel is coming out, and they released like a release trailer or something. It's what it's looking like. Launch date trailer. So I think it's coming out. Oh, it comes out on December 6th.
This
So
year.
yeah, I can't wait to not play that.
I wish companies would
Uh,
make new games instead of making sequels. Sequels.
yeah, but like whenever they make new games, it's just like they don't. It's the same as like a sequel. They don't really put much effort into it. Like what is
Sequels and
it?
put more effort into making a game.
You said what?
Like they put effort into making the game instead of doing the sequel.
Yeah, I think they just need to put more time into making games just in general. Like in the games, not just like what I mean is like make sure the game is finalized, make sure things are working because games have been releasing in like unfinished states. One of like the biggest ones that
Cyberpunk.
I Cyberpunk, yeah, Cyberpunk is a really big one. Um, more like kid-ish is like Pokemon. The most recent Pokemon was awful. It like I don't know why they releasing. That's a whole different conversation because Nintendo is an archaic company. But like you can the Switch can barely run like mobile games on it. Um, but yeah, like Pokemon came out and it was like super bad. Cyberpunk is also like a super good um example of that. It came out barely working, like crashes. Even like not so much, not to like that extent, but like Elden Ring, even whenever it came out, people were experiencing like I'm pretty sure we're experiencing like crashes and well like frame drops and stuff. Um,
It's
but
hard
that may just
though.
be
I mean,
okay.
like at launch with all the servers having nothing on them and then being flooded all at one time with like new players and everything like that. I can understand like like small things like you said like maybe like FPS issues something like that or like maybe whenever a first COD comes out and the servers aren't really prepared for everyone coming out at one time kind of thing like that or like we all play Siege and Operation Health was a whole issue there but like you know some things are inevitable and some things can be definitely worked on and like if they just took a moment to like actually test their games with like more than like the whoever is like like 5 people testing it,
That's
that'd be great.
that's what the beta is, but most games don't do that anymore.
I mean, but and to that point, like that is a good point. But I think like what was it? If there's no excuse, right, for like single player games like Cyberpunk. You don't. There's not necessarily like a online feature that you like immediately join into.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a bunch of people are like flooding that one server because it's a single player game. So it's like you can't even make that argument for that game because it's like it's just you. Like, it can't handle me playing the game. Um. So I mean, but yeah, like in terms of like multiplayer games, yeah, like they should 100% like test it, like in the alpha, pre-alpha, make sure it's working. Um, but yeah, I think they should just put more time into making these games because like I get like trying to meet like a deadline and stuff, but if you just like because they're like, oh, we gotta put it out, but just like give it more time. Like for what is it for COD with for example, like the most recent CODs have been kind of dookie. Um, and what was the most recent one? Modern Warfare 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that one, I think it only had like just like a very like a handful of months before like like where they had to finish it because they kept on switching companies and stuff. And it's like it came out and it just it worked, I guess, but it's just not very good. It's just not a very good
Which
game like
COD
at all.
recently instead of like 1 year they did 2 years. Remember that? You know what I'm talking about?
Um,
I think it was
did they do
Cold
that?
War.
Was it
Yeah.
cold? I was about to say Cold War.
Th-
Um,
They put more. I don't know if they put more time into it. They just needed more time, I guess. But usually it's every October COD comes out, and that year they're like, we're gonna wait another year, and they it's just like the same game, copy and pasted, different title.
yeah.
Zombies was cool though in Cold War,
Yeah, Zombies was like actually decent.
and they took a shit on that in Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah. So you guys like that? Okay, we're gonna not do that. We're gonna completely switch it up again. And they make it like these like I guess half baked open world, and it's like who's asking? Nobody's asking for this. Whenever they did this within was it Cold War where they introduced that, or was it Black Ops 4?
What?
Like the kind of like open world ish thing.
That was
It was Modern Warfare. That's the only time I remember it being open world.
There was one before Modern Warfare 3. Was it Modern Warfare 2?
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I don't know,
See, that's
but
the thing
whenever
with CODs. I just like you guys said, they're just so copy and pasted. I'll just buy one every 3 years. I mean, I bought Modern Warfare 3 because it came with my Xbox, or correction, it was like free with my Xbox
Mhm.
from Best Buy. But like, Black Ops, the new one that's coming out. I mean, it's gonna be on Game Pass, so it's like I don't have to buy it, but like it's still like how you guys said, copy and pasted. And I think the open world ish one was
Mhm.
Cold War. I could be wrong. I mean, like
Okay.
No, Cold War was not open world. I remember playing with Jared. We used to go underneath a thing and glitch the fucking thing.
No, it is Cold War. I think they had different game modes. We just
Oh.
never played Outbreak
Oh,
because
okay.
it sucks because
I
it's a
didn't know.
bad game
I just remember
mode.
playing the round based one.
Yeah, it is Cold War. Yeah.
Huh.
So whenever they introduced that, everybody hated it. Like everybody hated it. Like it's a bad game mode. And then they like doubled down on it in Modern Warfare 3, and it's like why do that? Like nobody's asking for this. We're asking for the exact opposite, which is just round based. And it's like they just don't listen to like the people, I guess. But for Black Ops 6, I will say I'm like actually um looking forward to the zombies at least. That's the only thing I really care about in COD nowadays. It's just the zombies. And that they seem to be doing like everything right so far. So that is something that like I'm glad it's coming to Game Pass because I don't know if I would be willing to spend like $70 on
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, once I found out it was coming to Game Pass, because I was like, I'm not buying it, because like I'm tired of buying CODs and not playing them. Like DMZ
Yeah.
was the only time I ever had fun in COD, and I'm
DMZ
like,
was super fun.
I'm not buying it. And then like they said they're gonna release it, so I'm like, okay, I guess I'll download it and
Yeah.
try zombies.
And then okay, for like DMZ, since that was brought up, they actually make like they actually like innovate a little bit and come out with DMZ, which I guess if you can't really call it innovation because they copied what like Escape from Tarkov or whatever. Um, but like they do that an actual good game mode that people really like, and it has nothing but like good people enjoying it. They take it out the next game.
Yep.
It's like, dude, like who are you listening to? Surely not the fans.
I actually went back a couple weeks ago and played DMZ solo, and it's so fucking fun. I love
Yeah,
DMZ.
it's one of those things like you like. Yeah, I also went back and played recently. Like even just by yourself, it is just a super fun game mode.
I was running those tunnels by myself solo. It's
That's
so fun.
super fun, dude. That's awesome. Did you ever play that, Nathan? That's Modern Warfare 2,
DMZ.
right? Yeah.
So I played a little bit of DMZ, but everyone I played, or every time I try to play it, I didn't have like a good group, and I would just get abandoned and left in an alleyway, bleeding out and dying, and get upset and just leave the game. But I like the idea of it. I do like how you guys said it's like kind of like Escape from Tarkov-ish, which I thought was refreshing. I like games that like, yes, it was kind of like ripped off from like how we said Tarkov, but
Mhm.
it's refreshing from COD because COD is always how we've been. Like we've always experienced boots on ground kind of thing, and they experiment with some things like Advanced Warfare and Infinite
Oh,
Warfare and stuff like
those
that, which are
atrocities.
terrible. Yeah, and they realize and learn from that. They're like, okay, we're not doing that ever again. But I think, I mean, like certain things like DMZ was great. I've probably played collectively maybe 20 minutes of DMZ,
Mm.
but enough to agree with you guys. It was still pretty fun, and me not, get the full experience of it.
I remember
Yeah.
I hated DMZ at first, but I think it was with you, Jared. We just started playing it.
Mhm.
I don't even remember when or why. And like it was just so fun, like addictively fun.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things that it's just like it's way more fun with a friend. Like if you have people to play with, uh, and if you like, obviously, if you don't take it so seriously, it's more fun. Because I think the main thing that we were doing is just like screaming at people in like the proximity chat, and just saying a bunch of
Scaring
stupid
people in
stuff
the
to them.
tunnels. We got so good at the tunnels, like we knew that shit in the
Dude,
back of our heads.
yeah, dude, we got that down to a science. Like, oh my gosh, dude. So yeah, it's definitely like it's way more fun once you like play with people because you know,
That's another
it's
thing
just.
with. Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna finish that with just like it's more fun. Like anything is more fun with friends,
Yeah.
obviously.
I noticed over time COD, like it kind of lost its game chat. In DMZ, every single person has a mic or their comm
Hmm.
band. Like there's no one without a mic ever.
We'd be like, "Why are you combat?" He's like, "Bro, I didn't even say anything that crazy." Like, what'd you say? And then he proceeds to say like the most effed up thing you probably ever heard.
I saw a
But
meme a while back.
crazy.
Somebody got banned from Club Penguin. I don't know exactly what it said, but it was something like atrocious. Getting banned from Club Penguin, dude,
It's
is
like
crazy.
that one. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's like that video of that guy playing Rocket League, and he's like, "Guys, I was just banned from Rocket League from saying GG 5 times," and he's like covering with his fingers, and he said like the hard R. Obviously, he's like, "I said GG 5 times, and they banned me." Oh, that's so stupid, man. But anyways, to wrap that up, I am looking forward to the new COD. So the zombies at
If
least.
they let down COD like Black Ops, like because COD is its own thing, but I feel like everyone like when you say Black Ops, they think
Yeah,
of
I
either
Black Ops
agree.
is
BO2 or
iconic.
something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So like if they let down or if they ruin COD like Black Ops for me, then I'm gonna go up to Treyarch myself and say some not so nice words.
What's your
I mean,
guys'
they've been
favorite?
kind of. My favorite is probably 3.
I like 3 a lot. I think my
Okay.
favorite, just from nostalgia, is probably 2. Um, but I played 1 a lot more than I played 2.
Mm.
Yeah, mine is definitely 3 by a long shot. I hit prestige something in that game on both COD, zombies and multiplayer.
Yeah, I played a lot of like um a lot of zombies. Like I grinded that for so long. I think I hit like Prestige 5 and then somehow like my stats reset and then I just I went and hit Prestige 5 again. And then on multiplayer Prestige 3 the first time and then whenever my stats reset it was like Prestige 4 maybe. Um I played a lot of that game.
I
I
think
had
it's the
so much
only
fun.
COD I spent money on as well. I put probably like $500 into that game.
What were you buying? What
It
was?
wasn't even my money either. I was in like 11th grade. I
Oh
mean,
my
like what,
gosh.
8th grade? I was just buying those mystery boxes, bro. I love their multiplayer. The skins, everything about the game was great. Like the skins, the everything, man, the maps.
So, you know how like there's like a scandal about like loot boxes or mystery boxes now because it's like technically online gambling is how they spun it because it's like
Hmm.
you have the chance of getting something really really cool and really really nice. Oh, cool! And then it's like okay, but how much money are you gonna risk until you're getting that one cool item? You know that could be worth $5, but you spend, for example, Zach's case, 500.
I don't know if it's really
Yeah.
500. It's probably like 200. It was a good
So the
chunk.
most I spent on a game is Smite, and
Oh,
anyone
mine
that plays
sucks.
Smite that listens to the podcast, you are my best friend now. But
W Smite.
um, Smite and I have like a love hate relationship. I love playing the game, but it hates to treat me right. Um, and I spent probably a good $1,000 in that game.
Gosh,
Um,
dang.
yeah, and it's a free game, so it's not like I had the opportunity to like not spend any money, and the only time I have to spend money is just to get cool looking skins to flex on people, and that's it. So it's like I wasted $1,000 to have a game which is now getting a sequel, and I don't
Hmm.
have any of those other skins
Hmm.
anymore. Just go down the drain. So my thousand
Yeah.
dollars is gone.
Oh man, yeah, I forgot about that. They definitely like just they're not putting those skins in.
So like
Oh man.
I'll rant about this for a second because like we were talking about sequels earlier, and I think this is a good idea for a sequel. Smite 1 is almost 11 years old, right?
Hmm.
They're taking 10 years worth of data and putting it into a second game. Siege, a game that we're all three familiar with.
Hmm.
If they made a Siege sequel, I'd expect that they would take all the ups, all the downs, and everything from Siege and put it into Siege 2. And Siege is made out like came out 2013, right? So
Yeah.
it is 11 years old.
It did.
So they can go ahead and update all the graphics, the mechanics, the movement, everything like that, like how they are in Smite 2, and
Yeah.
make it a lot better game if they just put the effort into it. Which
Siege
2013
is
was it
9
released?
years old.
with Smite 2, how they're gonna combat the curve of hey, we know you just spent $1,000 in the game, but don't be mad at us.
The
What they're doing
legacy points or
is
whatever.
yeah. So like
Hmm.
it would take them. I think they said like years of like man hours, like actual working hours, if they wanted to just implement every single skin from Smite 1 to Smite 2 with a new Unreal Engine.
Hmm.
So like they're just saying, you know what, we're not going to make our workers work so hard. Which shout out to them, that they're not making their people do something they don't want to do.
Right.
Um, they are just giving us like legacy points or legacy gems, and they're making it like a really sweet deal. Like so with every gem you ever spent in Smite, you get one gem, then legacy gem, and then with legacy gems, if you're gonna buy a skin with it, until your legacy gem runs out, and like for example, I'm gonna have like I think like 14, 15,000. Every single skin I'm gonna have is always half off with those gems. So like
Mm.
a tier, oh I think I have 30 something thousand actually, and you can if you buy like a extra edition of Smite, which is like a founders edition, any one you purchase you get double your gems. So it's like I can theoretically get $2,000 worth of skins. So it's kind of nice. It's rewarding in that point, in my opinion. But it's again up to the player's discretion.
Yeah, I to be fair, I'm not like super into Smite. I would say like not as much as you are at least. Like, do you
Yeah,
think that's a
loser.
good way? Yeah, loser over here. Do you think that's a good way to like circumvent that?
I feel like with like how we said like they don't want to go back and overwork their employees. I feel like that's a great thing to do. I mean, yeah, people are gonna be butthurt. Like I've only spent $1,000. It's people, content creators, a lot of other, people when they're there. I was young when I started playing the game. Didn't have a job. Who knows the amount kind of money people spend on this game? So like, I mean, yes, it's a great idea. And if other companies were to make a sequel, they should do that kind of implementation where like I think in Siege I spent like $100, $200 in Siege, just on R6 credits. So like
Mhm.
instead of if I don't have my skins ever again, why don't we, make it where the player gets rewarded for all their time that they've put in the game? Because Smite did that too. You're getting rewarded for the years of experience you have on it. So like, with all I've been playing games for the game roughly 8.5, 9 years. So like my 9 years won't go down the drain like I was expecting it to. It's like, okay, yeah, I get cool stuff. I'll get special titles in Smite 1, and then like um, all the stuff. Like they're giving out a free tier 5 skin, which a tier 5 skin is valued at $100. You get to pick it from a chest. It's pretty cool. I mean, like, you're making it where you listen to the players, and they actually went to the pros for this, and they asked like, what should we do? And the pros suggested that they just make the legacy gems instead of regular gems a thing again. So I mean, they got the audience's feedback, which is nice. Unlike Siege, where it's just like it revolves around Pro League and only Pro League. I mean, I feel like it's a fantastic movement that they're doing. It's a lot, like I said, a lot more welcoming to the audience. That hey, we understand you just invested so much money and time in our game. Let's reward you for that instead of just here's a new game.
Well, that's great. I
I
mean,
feel
yeah.
like
I mean, if
it's
go
a good
ahead.
idea, but like I feel like you got to be used to that by now. Every single game has always done that. Like think about GTA, how many hours and money, like real life money, people have put into it, and GTA 6 is coming out.
Yeah, I think like every game does that, but I think it's like it's the way they do it, right? Um, Another one for like your example, like is COD, right? COD is like the biggest, or like 2K, or FIFA. But I think COD, where it's like you buy all these skins and stuff. Like I know I probably have a ton of skins I got on COD, and they more than likely won't go over to the next game.
Yeah.
And it's like well, that kind of sucks. I just spent all this money. Um, but I think it just depends on how they do it. Another like bad example is like Overwatch with Overwatch 2. Like I remember whenever they announced that they were like, "Oh, we're gonna be the main thing was like they have a new like PvE like story mode pretty much." And this was like the main reason why they were making Overwatch 2, and everybody was like, "Okay, like that's cool." Obviously like graphic update and stuff, like it looked nice, and everybody was like, "Okay, cool. Like finally Overwatch has like some more stuff that you can do." But whenever the Overwatch 2 came out, they were just like, actually, we're gonna scrap all the PvE and story stuff. It's just Overwatch again with better graphics. And it's like, well, now you just hyped everybody up just to be like spitting in their face and like, oh, actually, it's the same game, just
Another one
looking a little bit better.
to like touch a little bit light on too is Destiny 2. I played Destiny 1. I played a little bit of Destiny 1. I played some Destiny 2. I like a lot of Destiny 2, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Destiny or not, but the DLCs aren't really cheap. Not
Yeah.
by a long shot.
Yeah. Go
And
ahead. I'm looking
Forsaken
something
is
up.
now gone. Like everything is gone, and it's like, for example, whenever it was on Xbox Game Pass and it was free, yeah, it was cool. And then like once they took it off, and I looked at how much the DLC was, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to spend $60 on a DLC that's going to be probably erased in the next year, so I'll pass.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. Okay. So I just looked it up. This is from 7 months ago, but this was $564.86 for all of Destiny 2's DLCs. It's
Yep.
What
freaking
the fuck?
insane.
I'm kind of glad games. I haven't seen a game with a DLC in a long time. Like I know COD used to do it with like the maps. I'm so glad they got rid of that.
Elden Ring has a
Yeah.
DLC, which
Now,
is
now
I
super
want to
good,
play Elden
living up the
Ring.
hype for
COD's
it.
DLCs are just free. But yeah, yeah, Elden Ring DLC is absolutely like worth it
I
though.
mean, I'm sure. Yeah,
I
some
have
games
I
still
have
have
not
it, but
played it, but I'm so
Oh,
excited to play
so
it.
good. It's so good.
See, that's the thing. Like, I was gonna buy. I was gonna play it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna rerun through Elden Ring. So, I mean, I was like, I want to get a refresher and everything like that. It's been a couple years since I played it, so I was gonna play it again, which I started. I'm like a good portion of the progression through, and then I'm like, all right, cool. Now I'm gonna buy a PS5, and I was like, that's a great idea to do. And I bought a PS5, and now all I'm doing is just playing different games.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely like worth it though. I would have paid like $50 for the DLC. That thing is a masterpiece.
I
It's
probably need to
actually
get it
super
soon.
good.
I have not seen too much of gameplay on it, just because I don't want to spoil it. But I know how difficult Radon is, and I'm kind
Oh
of
my
like
gosh,
happy,
yeah.
but I'm not happy at the same time. Just because I'm like, okay, like Elden Ring the first time around was very difficult. It took me 80 something hours to beat it, and that was not even my first playthrough. My first playthrough, I was running around for like 12 hours just trying to get runes and not knowing how to level up and nothing like that because I didn't look anything up and just dying just like over and over and over hundreds of times. So like, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, he's super difficult. I think he took me like around maybe like 70 tries to beat him.
70 tries for Radon?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Took me a good minute. Um, I want to say that's like a very like wild guess too, just because like I'm not entirely sure. Like I played it on and off. Like whenever I think I played it over the weekend. I like played it for probably like an hour or two, and then I would get off, and then I'd hop back on like 4 hours later, and I did that for like 2 days. So I want to say like around 70 tries, but I wasn't like keeping count or anything. Um, but yeah, it is super difficult. Like not even just for Dawn, just the DLC in general. It is a very difficult DLC, which I enjoyed. I love that. But man, Elden Ring is just such a good game. That is like a game that I did not. I think I told Zach this before, but I hated Elden Ring. Like I hated the Dark Souls series, like in general, just because like I was never like good at them, and I was just like, this just it's just hard and dumb. Like that's all it is, just hard, and that's all it is. But then I tried out Elden Ring because all the big YouTubers were playing it, and I was like, I want to give it a shot. It looks good. It looks fun. Um, and I played it, and I played like an hour of it. I got like to Margot, the first boss, and then I think I got close to killing him or something. But I no, I didn't get close to killing him. I kept on dying. I think got him like half health into a second phase. And then I was like, okay, I'm clearly not strong enough. How do I level up? And like, where do I go? Like, what am I supposed to do? And the game doesn't tell you like, oh yeah, if you want to level up, go to this little level
Yeah,
and
it
you get
just throws you in
here
the
or whatever.
game.
Yeah, it just throws you in. So I was like, this is stupid, and I stopped playing the game. And then I went back and I played the game probably like like 5 months later, more or less. And I went in, and it was a weird way to come back into the game. Like it's absolutely like not what you should do. But like I went in, I like hacked all the items into my account, and I just gave myself like a super OP build, and like I'd sweep through the game. And even like with that like super OP build and all the items and stuff, I was like, this is super fun. And like obviously just because you have all the items doesn't make you good at it. I was like, this is still
Yeah.
challenging. So I went back and I played it legit, and I just fell in love with the game. Like I put so much hours into the game, and it's just a masterpiece. It is definitely like a contender for like the perfect game. It's just so good.
So my story with Elden Ring is like Elden Ring came out, and I didn't really have any like interest in it. I also have not really played all the Soulsborne games. I played a little bit of 2. I played a little bit of 3. Did not finish both of them. And again, how you said, Jared, it's just like nerve wracking. It's angry. It for me. It was not enjoyable. It was just pure aggression. Like I was angry with everything. And I actually had Dark Souls 3. I bought it from GameStop because, I was like, oh, yeah, it was on sale, pre-owned. I was like, well, on Xbox Store, it's still $60, but here it's, $20, $40. I was like, okay, I'll get this. So I got it. Um, I put in Dark Souls 3, and I hated it. I gave it away. I told my roommate, my old roommate, I said, I'm going to snap this disc if you don't take it. So, like, take this or this disc is going to get thrown away. Like, I hate it. I don't end my site ever. And then um, eventually I bought Elden Ring because I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna try it because I saw like got best game of the year. I was like, let's see what the hype's all about. And when I first played Elden Ring, like I said, my first playthrough, 16 hours, nothing but dying. I stopped. I uninstalled the game. I hated it. I was like, why did I do this? I played too much in it. Now I can't refund it. Whatever. And then one day I reinstalled it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it another shot. And like you, I hack my items in there. So I mean, can't say that was fun. But I did like a rune farming method after I got to a certain point of the game. So I powered up for a good bit, and the boss fights were easier, right? Not easy, but easier. Just like I said, no matter really how, like unless you're max level with your first playthrough, all the bosses won't be easy. It's going to be a challenge for you, especially learning all the move sets and all the everything of the bosses and everything like that. So, I mean, it was still a fun game. It was still very enjoyable for what it was worth. And it definitely deserved best game of the year because it was just such
Absolutely.
a beautiful game and the different endings and everything like that. Only
Hmm.
thing, which I feel like a lot of people can say this, the only thing I don't like about it was just the pure like how you said like it just throws you in the game. Like you meet the guy, he's like, "Welcome to the game.
Yeah.
This is the game. Go play the game." And then you're like, "Okay, how do I do stuff?" And you just die over and over again. And like whoever at Elden Ring, if you're ever wondering, whoever at Elden Ring made the tree sentinel so close to the first side of grace, I want you to know that I died so many times just trying
Oh,
to
hold on.
run,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
just trying to run to the second side of grace in the game. And I had like actually at first no idea on my first playthrough that there was someone there until I figured out there was like, oh, a tree sentinel, and I figured out who it was, and I was like, oh, he's right next to me. And I was like, okay, first boss in the game will be easy. No, whoever would think that, which I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought that, we were certainly mistaken. It was so bad.
Yeah, that thing messed me up like so bad in the beginning. Um, I just gave up on fighting him. But then whenever I went back and played it, he's always like the first boss I go and kill. He's super easy to once you figure him out. But like, yeah, I think Tree Sentinel. I just pulled it up. So they released like the top 5 bosses that like killed the most amount of players. Um, I'm pretty sure Tree Sentinel was number 1 at one point, but from here's like 1 to 5. Number 1 is Melania, because of course it's Melania. It's probably like a Radon now, because this was before the DLC. Um, but it's Melania. Number 2 is Margit, the Fell Omen, the like his last form. Number 3 is the Tree Sentinel, and then number 4 is Radagon, and then number 5 is Radon, the pre DLC version. And Melania has 329 kills under her belt, 329 million under her belt.
Can just think like so many people were like have their hopes up for this game and then just get bullied the whole entire time during the game. And there's people that haven't beat the game too. Like, I think Kai said it. He was like, if your man beat Elden Ring, then like give him like a chef's kiss. Like Elden Ring's a very difficult game for some people, and they still haven't beat it.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, have you played Elden Ring, or like you just neutral about the whole thing?
He's a
No,
loser.
yeah, I played with Jared a little bit, and then I never played it again. I don't like
Yeah,
single player games. I like PvP. So
yeah.
I
I
think
think we played
Skyrim
it for like.
is
Go ahead.
Skyrim is like the only game that I played a lot of that's like not PvP. So
Yeah, we played it for like probably like what? What would you say? Like 3 hours max?
yeah, it was just like one afternoon on a Saturday. And then it gets a game.
Yeah,
It seems like a good game. I don't have time to sit there and play it and die over and over again. I don't
yeah.
enjoy
It's
that.
just a lot of. It is like uh, it is just like not for people who don't like single player games, because it's just like you have to explore, like you have to. Um, I think that's like something with how it just puts you into the game. Like even though that can be looked at as like a negative, like it's not telling me what to do. I think it's
I
more of
think
like a
it's neat.
positive. Yeah, I think it's more of a positive because it's like true open world. Like it's not like a linear game where it's gonna tell you where to go, and like it's actually like true open world where like you can do different bosses in different orders, but eventually you'll kind of figure it out and get to the end point. Um, so yeah, I think that's more of like a positive. It gives you more fun. Like you can find like little secret bosses and stuff and have fun doing that.
Um, One game that's relevant at the time of recording this, Wukong. Not to get too far into the rabbit hole, Wukong is such a good game. We can talk about it later time, but I don't think it's probably game of the year, but just the beauty of the game itself, in a nutshell, deserves like a special award for something. You know,
Yeah, I
like
was about to say, like, I haven't heard anything about the game except it looks good. Like, it's just pretty.
Yeah,
um,
I've heard many things. I've heard that the gameplay is pretty fun.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, I'll see it. I'm downloading it right now, so I
I'm
guess we'll
actually
see.
playing it right now. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's a lot like from like I hate to compare it to Elden Ring is like Elden Ring. I mean, it did get Game of the Year, and it's just kind of like comparing everything to heaven in this point. But, like it, I've had bosses where I beat them on the first try, and like their movements, it's not like a Mikola or Melania and like all in one. You can read the movements. It's like if someone wanted to play the game at like a game before Elden Ring, I'd suggest Wukong. It's you can read the movements semi easily. You know, you have cool abilities. You know, it's a lot more forgiving than Elden Ring. They don't have a counter mechanic, so it's like one less mechanic you don't have to worry about, and you can master that in a different game. But
Mhm.
it in a nutshell, it's just so good.
Yeah.
I got a
I
question.
mean, go ahead.
Actually, you go ahead because it's kind of off topic.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I don't think there's gonna be any other game. I think that game might win Game of the Year actually, just because like I can't think of any other game that has had this much like overwhelmingly
Hype.
positive reviews and hype.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Um, you said what?
Fortnite.
Okay. Yeah, maybe Fortnite wins Games of the Year. But yeah, I can't think of any other game that has had even remotely close to this much like positiveness behind it.
Oh.
At least this year, you know, and you know, uh, yeah, I think it will get it just because it wasn't like a necessarily a great year for games.
No.
Yeah.
And not gonna hop on the bandwagon of Wukong because I've seen mixed reviews already about it and people saying like it is kind of linear at first. I feel like just because of oh god, the very first like chapter you're in, it is like very linear. But me being in the second chapter
Hmm.
and you know currently getting my ass handed to me right now, it's an okay. You know, it's like I was exploring around for mid the first like 30 minutes of the podcast trying to figure out where this boss was at. But I mean, it's not bad. It's definitely a very fun game. I feel like um, the like scenery wise, it's beautiful. The cinematic wise, it's beautiful. The combat, it feels good. You know, it feels engaging. You don't feel like you're yawning at every single boss fight, and
Hmm.
it all in all, it's like a very fun game to play. Which um, you know, me not taking dying very well over and over again. This game is still like I want to get back into it. I want to keep fighting. You know, I was so close the first time. You know, what can I learn? What can I do differently? And uh, the different play styles you can do because like you have different abilities, you can do different things. You know, different mini bosses you can summon. It's just such a refreshing and fun thing to do. Just going on TikTok and watching people beat the final boss of the first chapter,
Hmm.
and seeing like how much damage they were doing compared to me. It's like okay, well they built differently, but they're also getting like chunked right now compared to me, where I'd be like not so bad compared to their defenses and like health pool and everything like that. Oh
Yeah,
gosh, sorry,
I
I had to
think.
stop talking mid through because I'm like I said currently in a boss fight and he's folding me in half right now, dude.
Well, I was gonna say like I think even if the game was like super linear, I don't think that's an issue like at all. Like that's how the old Dark Souls and like Bloodborne and Sekiro were. Um, and people those games are like, iconic. Like I recently went and played Dark Souls 3 for the first time. Fantastic game. I recently went back and played Sekiro for the first time. Amazing game, a freaking banger. And it's a linear game. Like there's not like a lot of like explorability, is that a word? It's not a lot that you can like explore with, and it's still just a really good game. like both of them. Sekiro for me, but yeah, I think even if linear is like uh is how the game is played, I don't think that's an issue at all. But you had a question, Zach?
Yeah. I was gonna ask, did y'all grow up on single player games? Like, what'd you play more as a kid?
Um, no, I would say I played more of like multiplayer games.
Mm.
I played more like yeah, I grew up like on COD. I did have like the occasional single player games like Mafia or like Borderlands, um, or like yeah, like God of War. But I mainly played multiplayer games. COD was like the main thing that I really played. Um, but actually, no. Now that I think about it, I, in terms of like the amount of games, I probably played more single player games.
Like more
But in
time.
terms of like more time played, it definitely like multiplayer. Yeah, definitely like yeah,
Okay.
for sure. But I
Um,
think no, actually yeah, go ahead before I
no,
start off.
no, 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 because I'm gonna have a whole tangent too. So,
Okay, well I was just gonna say like I think as I grew up, like I stopped like my perception of games like has just changed drastically to like how I was in like I don't know like in high school or whatever where like I really cared about like winning or like being actually like good at the game. For me now it's way more important to like actually have fun in the game that I'm playing. Like if I go out and I play COD, right, and like I can be like we can be like destroying people like winning games matches in a row, but like I could still just not be having a good time. Like it could just not be fun for me. Um,
It was like you and Seed, right?
yeah, that's a good example too. Yeah, like even though like we could like even whenever like we play Siege, like Siege is fine, like it's
ugh.
fun, I guess, but I can't play it for too long just because it's like at a certain point I just kind of get bored, and it's like even though I'm playing with like you guys and that's fun, I just I want to have fun playing the game. I don't want to like be sitting here only playing it because you guys are playing it. Like that's not very fun for me. Um, so I care more about like just having fun with the game. So like I think that's whenever I started branching out to like single player games a lot more. And I played like I think the main one that really like got me like deep into it was like playing God of War 2018. Like that game was fantastic, and I was like, now I want to play like a ton of more single player games and experiences like the story as opposed to like fighting real life people. I want to experience the story, the writing, how good is it, how impactful it is, and just like yeah, I just I have a lot of fun playing single player games just because I'm not worried about like sweating my butt off to try to get best this other kid in the match. It's more about just like I'm having fun with this and I'm enjoying this. Like if it's gonna have me screaming and like stressing and making me want to throw my controller or whatever, I'm not gonna play the game just because I know that's not like a positive feeling that I like to feel. So I'm not gonna do that. I want to have fun. But I guess that's just that's obviously not for everybody. I can understand how people like the thrill and like the adrenaline of like being in like a 1v1 or whatever, and like you then like whenever if you win you get to like trash talk the other person, and that's fun. I get it, but it's not necessarily for me.
um, I feel like so to answer the question before, whether multiplayer or single player, I'm gonna touch up on some of the topics that Jared said. I feel like as I matured, my like I've enjoyed games differently. Yes, it's fun, 1v1ing somebody back in the day, thinking who was better, but now it's like I want to enjoy myself. I'm older. I don't really want to have an argument with some 12-year-old online anymore. So it's like I don't care that I'm doing bad at a game. I'd rather do bad at a game where I can enjoy my peace and my own company and time,
Hmm.
and not care rather than having to try every single moment and worry about me losing, and if I lose, well, I let my team down. Um, that being said, I think I grew up more multiplayer games later in my childhood, because when I was really really young, I played on PC and I played World of Warcraft, which is multiplayer. But
I
I
agree.
feel like I didn't play online with anybody because I was too young to play and have any friends online playing World of Warcraft at like 7 years old. So I played it on myself. Um, and growing up, I didn't get I got a Wii first, and like I played Mario Kart and like Mario and stuff like that. You know, I never really was allowed online until I was like 12, when I moved out of my dad's house. So like I would say that I grew up more on single player games, but as time went on and I played a lot more multiplayer games, I think now I'm diving back into the single player side of things just because it's, you know, I like a game that tells a story. I play Call of Duty and I'll buy I'll play the campaign. You know, like I used to
Mhm.
always try to finish the campaign, everything like that. And it's like Black Ops 4 when it came out, I was like, there's no campaign, there's no sense in playing it. Um, so like to wrap it up, I think now as where I'm at in my life, I like more single player games. I keep in mind if you have friends to play games with, it is fun on multiplayer. If it's like a casual kind of thing, but if like if we're all playing Siege, it's like we're all trying to get champ, and one guy makes one wrong rotation, one guy punches something or does one minor something that the whole team can snap on and get angry with them, and just like let their frustration out that they've had towards the game because of their performance or another teammate's performance. It's just, why argue over nothing? It's
Mhm.
in a sense it's a game, so like, just let it be. But at the same time, it's like, you know, the community's also very toxic in that game too. So it's like not really a good game to compare to. I mean, I guess you could say a lot of online games, their community is kind of toxic. Like the Call of Duty franchise. Notorious for being racist ever since we were at Modern Warfare 2. Um, so like, that again is another bad one to compare it to. But like, I just feel like online, it's very hard to kind of get like peace and equality off because like they banned the emblem creation and from Black Ops, and we all know why. Like, it's terrible. So like,
Yeah.
I think just like for the casual gamer, the single player route is fun. They've made a lot more fun single player games. Ghost of Tsushima, now Wukong, Elden Ring, that are kind of all the same style, but like there are just regular, single player games that are different, like play styles, and they're really fun. Now I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to hop on Farming Simulator 2024 and play for the next 5 years, but I mean, there are a lot of good games that benefit to the casual gamer that just wants to hang out and chill out and do things and not have to worry about fighting with some online kid, like I said,
Yeah.
and having to deal with like some racist butthead on the thing. Which, I mean, racism was always an issue, but like I was also listening to a podcast before at work today, um, and they were going into the topic of like the first ever black NASCAR driver. Even today, NASCAR did this guy so dirty that there's only one black guy in NASCAR just because they're so unwelcoming of it. It's like a white guy's persona. I mean, white guy's like a hobby.
Mhm.
So I mean, it it all just dives down into like different points of like why I prefer single player than multiplayer. Um, but I think single player is superior.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like for me, yeah, I would definitely prefer single player games. But I also, like I said earlier, just to reiterate, like I also do get like wanting to play multiplayer games just to like have that, just to like for like the like wanting to win, right? Like wanting to be better than the other
Competitive.
person and stuff. Yeah, I get that. Um, so like yeah, like I understand it. It's just like I said, it's just that's not necessarily for me, you know. Like I think as you get older, you kind of stop caring about like being good at the game. Um, and it's like it's like you can have fun even without necessarily being good at the game. It's because it's just like, you know, who's gonna care at the end of the day, right? Like nobody, you know, like
I told
there's no longer, you know. Go ahead.
I told my friend I used to play Siege with him all the time. His name was Salty Chicken. He joined the party, I don't know, like 2 years ago, and he was always just like, "I hit diamond. You said I'd never hit diamond." Just like going on. I'm like, what's that gonna matter in 5 years? And he just like,
Yeah.
no, every time he joins a party, like anytime I say anything, he's like, what's it gonna matter in 5 years?
Okay,
Hey,
you know,
you
to add to this
heard
topic
him.
from this guy, Zach would always mess with me, saying that I'm so terrible at Siege, and me finally hitting plat on my own. It was so rewarding, and I will tell you, if I have to every single day to this die until I die, remind you that I hit plat and Siege on my own, I will. Just because every day you'd spite me for it, you team kill me, dude, because I was the weakest link on the freaking team, dude. So yeah, I can reiterate. I mean, I can vouch for Salty Chicken, dude. Yeah,
Well,
going
yeah,
against you.
if it's something like out of spite, yeah, that's gonna feel way better than like any single player game would, because it's just like now I have a reason to do it. Now it's like an actual reason just to like get back at this guy, you know? Spite is gonna like make you lock in for the next 5 years.
You the main character vibes, bro.
Before we move on, I wanna answer my own question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, when I was younger, I didn't have internet until like I think freshman year. I didn't have internet until then. Or no, I think I got it in middle school. Middle school. Let's go middle school.
Mhm.
Before that, I had an Xbox, I had a Wii, I had a PS2. Growing up, I had all the games. I just never had online, and I'd only play single players all day long, and I loved it so much. And then I like always like I really want to play online. I finally convinced my mom that I needed it for school, and I never used it for school just to play the game. So
What a
I,
freaking liar, dude.
it's true, but and I just like I love the competitiveness of it. I love being
Yeah.
competitive. um and like especially throughout high school, especially with Siege, I just grinded the game all day long. I just wanted to
You
be
still
the
have.
I wanted to be the best. And as I got older, like I still like the competitiveness, but at the same time I just like playing with people. Like I'll hop in the game,
Hmm.
I'll play for 10 minutes, I'm like, yo, this shit sucks, and then like I'll like beg someone to get on. I'll have my girlfriend to get on, or ask one of you to get on, or I just get off and go watch something. Because I'd
Hmm.
rather watch something than play something. I just think it's more entertaining for me. So
Let me
Yeah,
just
that's
check
fair.
my text messages and see if I ever got a text from Zach saying hop on real because
well, not you. I texted Jared and then Nate Sean.
I mean my schedule is busy too. I mean
Yeah, I figured.
I get up till like 7 a.m. and I don't really stop till like 10 o'clock at night. So.
Sheesh. But yeah, yeah. I mean, like competitiveness is fun. I don't really get competitive all that much. There's been like obviously sometimes like it's more like whenever I feel bad, like whenever we play and I'm bringing the team down. I'm not doing very good. I'm like I gotta lock in. I gotta get like a kill at least. I gotta do something. And that's whenever I'm like okay, let me like actually like try to play the game at like a competent level. Um, but
Yeah,
that
and
just that makes it more unfun for me though.
high school me would have like actually kicked you because of that. But like now, I'm
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
I'll make
absolutely.
fun of you every now and then, but I don't care. Like it's
Yeah.
fun to win. Obviously, I like winning. I'm competitive. I play competitive games. But
Hmm.
like maybe in high school, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's not that deep. It's just yeah, you realize like it's not it does not it doesn't really matter. We're not putting like money on the line.
We can right now if you want to. Though. I'm so
We
down.
got like $500,000 on the line. But yeah, I think that's just how it is whenever you grow up. I mean, do you see yourself like ever getting into more single player games?
I really don't because like I mean I just don't have time. Like I'm always doing something. I maybe have like 3 or 4 hours a day just to either play the game or hang out with my girlfriend or watch TV. Besides
Hmm.
that, I don't. And then like weekends, I'm always doing something for someone. I'm always hanging out with someone. I'm always like going to my family. Like I'm not like complaining about that, but like I just don't have time.
Going to my family again?
Yeah, gosh, friends
I
and
just
family.
I just
What
don't have
the
time. I
hell?
don't have time to sit down and die over and over and over and over and just like to maybe get to the next checkpoint or something. Like I'd rather just hop in a quick play, shit on some kids, and get off. That's just how I
Mhm.
am.
Oh.
I mean, there's also like more story oriented games where you can just like put the lowest difficulty. Like I know for a lot of people with like God of War, a lot of people just put the lowest difficulty possible, and then just like kill everything in like 2 hits and just go there for the story. I think that's super like fair, just because God of War story is beautiful.
I mean,
Um,
would you count Minecraft as a single player game?
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Okay, because I think I have more hours of Minecraft than any other game on this, like any other game. Period. So
I've had different accounts on Xbox over like the years of me owning my Xbox. So like I think the most I've played in a game would probably be a multiplayer game, which says a lot because I don't usually play with anybody anymore.
Sorry, I had to. I was getting called on. What did you ask a question?
No.
What was the last thing you said? I missed it.
who, him or me?
Nathan.
I was just saying like that I the most time I've played in a game would be a multiplayer game. So like I think I think the single player games too that have a story on them. You know, you can only do so much until the story's ends. You know, like with the online game, you know, like the like playing against another person, everyone's different. So it's like I guess that's like what we can have more hours on. I'm not the kind of guy where it's like Elden Ring. I'm not gonna play Elden Ring 100 times through just so I can have like 1,000+ hours of Elden Ring. Be like, oh yeah, here's the 100 days I spent on this game. Maybe a year worth of this game right here just for fun.
Mm,
I have over a year playtime on Siege, so
it's crazy.
it's like 370 something days. But like, I understand why I love Siege. Like I said before, I like competitiveness, and Siege is the most competitive like shooter in my opinion. Like it's either like you mess up once and it's wraps, and I like that.
Yeah, it's fair. I think my most played game, that I can like look at right now. Oh, oh, Elden Ring just beat it. It was Fallout 76 with 531.2 hours. It's probably more with my PlayStation account, but just on PC it's 531.2, and then Elden Ring is 531.3. So it just barely squeaked it out.
That's your
That's
most
probably
played game?
on Steam at least,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Because I seriously have 300 and over a year playtime in Siege. I know I have a lot in Minecraft too, but I think a lot of it's AFK. Like I'll just leave it on overnight like I used to.
Mm,
Which it
but
might be Siege too. Like if you fall asleep and leave your thing on, it still counts. So
yeah, I have a question. I think you and I have talked about it before, Zach, but just for podcast sake, do you guys see yourself playing games as an adult, like later on in life, like 40 years
Oh
old,
yeah,
50 years old,
yeah,
or whatever?
yeah, I do.
I
Especially
think
the way they're going right now.
games just become so much like peace, like such like a thing I can rely on in life that I think that I'm definitely gonna be able to play it when I'm older. I think I might be a little bit more like not skeptical of my kids playing it, but like watch what they're playing just because I know how it is kind of thing. Like I don't like if I have a daughter, my 7-year-old daughter talking to a 45-year-old man online.
Right? Yeah.
So maybe like limit them, what they play, but like for sure, I think I'll probably be playing games till I'm dead. I'll be like the 85-year-old grandpa, talking to the 20-year-olds like, oh, back in my day.
I've
Right.
always compared video games to entertainment. So like people will be like, "Oh, you." I know my grandparents. They don't do it no more, but they used to be like, "What are you doing? Playing the game?" Like, "Yeah, what are you doing? Watching TV?" Like, it's the same damn thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
entertainment. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't
I'm
see
like
why I would never stop.
low key scared that I'm like I would grow out of it. I think a main reason why I started to enjoy single player games more is just because like I'm kind of growing out of gaming in general. Like I feel like I'm playing way less games, or like I have the drive to play games less than like ever before. Like there's times like even on like days off, right? Like today for instance, like I finished my homework like around like 9 a.m. maybe. I got up like at 7 because I'm used to getting up at 7. And I finished it like around 9. and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just chill, and I was like, maybe I'll play a game. And I looked at all my games and stuff, and I was just like, I don't feel like playing games like at all. I just don't feel like playing a video game. I just feel like chilling or just just I don't know, just doing anything else really. Um, and just like I'm like low key scared that like as I get older, I'm gonna be like just not have the drive to do anything video game
Why would you
related.
be scared of that though? Like,
Just because it's like it's always been something that has been like a it's always been something that has been like a what is it, like an escape from reality, right? You like for me, like I always seen it as like people play games to kind of forget about their issues that they have in like the real world, right? Like for me, one thing that I can give an example of is like homework, right? Like having to do like college work that is super stressful. And I know me, like I get very overwhelmed very, very quickly. And being able to like sit down and play a game helps a lot because I forget about that for like that hour or so that I play that game, and it's like it's bliss, like it's nice to feel that. And so I guess it's just like it, it's more just like concerning because it's like what am I going to use in place of that to kind of escape reality and not have to worry about those things and not have that on my shoulders for those like for that like hour or so. um because it's like it's something that like you can just do whenever, um and have that escape from reality, that bliss for those couple hours. And like it's nice. um so yeah, and it's like I don't want to like lose that because then it's like what am I gonna have in place of that?
I see
I
myself
think
like, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay, I just see myself like now, just running out of time. Like, I mean, if you work for 8 hours a day, you come home for four. You know, you eat, you hang out with your girlfriend. If you had kids, that's like another
Hmm.
story. You have to hang out with your kids. Like, you never know. You have something to do. You have to do something on the weekend. Like, you just don't have time anymore, and you slowly just kind of forget about it. But then, like, you can always like, oh, I have nothing to do at all. I'm gonna hop on the game. Like, you're still gonna play it, but maybe just not as much as you do now.
Hmm.
I think, I mean, I've had my time where like I've been burnt out and I don't want anything anymore. It's like okay, I don't care to play anything and hop on, look at stuff, turn my Xbox on, literally launch a game to quit the game to then get off my Xbox. And I think yeah, when you have kids and everything like that, your time will be taken up. You know, friends and siblings that have kids and everything like that. That you know once the baby starts crying, it's like, yeah, if you're a decent parent, you're gonna go and take care of your kid really fast. And like during a game, it'd be kind of hard to do that. But I mean, like
Hmm.
I think, you know, over time, as new games come out, maybe not play it so much, like gaming in general. But like I think like if a game comes out, like let's say I really enjoy Elden Ring. Let's say like a new Soulsborne game comes out, and it's like, well, they made Elden Ring. This next one has to be pretty hype too. It's like, okay, I'm gonna reserve my time to do this, and maybe like uh, a game I've like again World of Warcraft when I was younger, playing it when I get older. I have not played it since I was younger, but I really want to. So maybe like that might be like the new like thrill that I want to have for a little bit until I move on to the next game. But like I guess it just like depends. But
Yeah.
the time thing is a good moment, like a good important thing. It's like I like playing games a lot. I've been playing games for the past 16, 17 years, and
Hmm.
my girlfriend, she likes gaming too. It's fun. We both like gaming, but it's like if I want to game on the weekend or something like that, and if and like let's say she goes to sleep, okay, well when I get up, whenever she goes to sleep and I get up, and I get on the game. It's like she doesn't think I'm going to spend time with her. Yes, she's sleeping, so it just depends. I don't know if it's like a woman thing or just like a thing in general. But like if I'm not like sitting there in the bed with her or like doing something with her when she gets up, then she feels like it's like she's not important. So it's like I guess it all really just strikes down to like how well we can manage our time as an adult. Like I read a thing a long time ago. It's like people that stay up really really late at night feel like that or like stay up a lot in general feel like their day has been taken away from them, so they want to earn it back somehow by staying up and being tired the next day.
Hmm.
So I mean, like it really just depends. I'm used to having 6 hours of sleep, so like I can do a lot of stuff in my 6 hours. I feel like crap sometimes when I get up for the morning for work. Um, but for a good hour or so after that, I'm back to normal, whatever. But I think it's just how well we can take advantage of our time management. And some games they take a long time. Like a lot of single player games like that are here recently, they're diving into like the 60, 80 hour time mark for completion.
Yeah, that's my whole point of what I was saying earlier of why I don't think I could ever get into a single player game.
So I mean, like it really just depends, I guess.
Well, yeah. In terms of like time, I'm just like touch back on the points earlier. Like obviously, whenever you're an adult, like having kids, like being married and having kids, your wife and your like kids are what take place of the like video games time. That is your like bliss, right? They become like your world. So obviously, none of us are married. None of us have kids, so we necessarily wouldn't necessarily like like know that for ourselves, but like that is like a common like thing that you hear like people say that like once you have kids they become like your world, like you devote your time to them. So like I think it's kind of different whenever you have kids and a wife because they take place of that, and I think that makes total sense. um but in terms of like time, I have like no problem with like time. Like for me, um I have like made this like shift in like my mindset where it's like looking at time a little bit differently, because it's like everybody looks at time where it's like, you work a 9 to 5 or whatever. In my case, the 7 to 5. Um, and I used to always be like, dang, I come home and I have like what, like 4 or 5 hours left of my day. That's like nothing. But then like I started thinking about it and I'm like, well, no, that's not nothing. That's 4 or 5 hours left of my day. That's hours. That's a long time that I can do like anything that I want to. It really just how you look at it, right? Like it takes like what 30 minutes to like for me to like eat my food or something like that, or like an hour, and I have like 3 hours left in my day. That's a lot of time. I can do a lot of things in those 3 hours. Or if on my day off, right? Like I used to always be like, man, I wake up and I gotta do homework, I gotta do whatever, and now I only have like 8 hours left in my day. It's like, well, dang, that's 8 hours left in my day. I could do literally whatever I want. It's just like it really doesn't go by so fast to where you don't have anything. Like we have 15 hours of our day that we spend not sleeping, and if you have a job, obviously it's like less, right? Because you have a job. But if you don't, right, like if it's like a day off, you have 15 hours to do a lot of things, and it's like it really is a lot of time. Like I think especially since we're so young, like we have like that is something I always talk about with like friends like from my church or something, that where it's like they're always like talking about like, man, like, oh, time is going by so fast. I'm already like 20, I'm about to be 22 or something. Like, man, I feel like time is just flying by, and it's like, no, like you have the rest of your life with you. Like you have a ton of time. And that's something that like I start to like kind of not understand really whenever people are like, "Oh, I just have such little time," because it's like I look at it and I'm like, I have so much time. Like I have so many years ahead of me, and even now I have like whenever we finish this podcast around like maybe uh pretty soon, like I'm still going to have like an hour or two left. That's a lot of time. I can do a lot of things in those 2 hours. And so time for me isn't necessarily like an issue because I feel like I kind of look at it a little bit differently. It doesn't really stress me out as much as it used to. So like for me, I feel like I do have the time to play games and stuff, and I will have the time whenever I'm older. It's more just like I don't have the drive. I wouldn't have the drive to do it.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, I mean, I usually like I work late, so and then I go to bed by 11. So yeah, I usually get home and I have like 3 or 4 hours. I eat and then like 3 hours is still a long time, but it goes by quick. and I guess that can get in your mind like pretty easily. Like,
Mhm.
especially like if you don't realize, and you just kind of like yesterday we were watching a show. We just started a show. And then I look over and it's 11:30. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like it was just 8 o'clock, and it
Yeah.
it just goes by really fast. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like I don't know, like enjoying your time, but it does go
Mhm.
by fast and like it cuts out a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
like obviously, like I would say, like I'm not like a perfect being where it's like, oh, time doesn't touch me. It's more just like today, for example, like I was busy doing like a lot of stuff. I was like barely home, um, and today I did like kind of have that where it's just like I like it was just like 9 o'clock or well, it was just like 11 o'clock, and then like I look at the phone and it's like already it's like 6 o'clock and Nathan's like, oh, are we doing the podcast? It's like, oh shoot, like
Yeah, I'm
yeah, I
still at
forgot we had a
work.
podcast. Yeah. So today was definitely one of those days where it's like, whoa, like I feel like I just missed my whole day. Um, so like and yeah, it's nothing like wrong with like seeing time as like this thing like that, right? But it's just like I feel like for like a lot of people, especially young people, they feel like time is just going by super fast. Like I mean, like in our everyday, like obviously if you're doing something fun, like hanging out with your girlfriend, watching a show, like it's not that big a deal if you like miss those hours, right? Because you're having a good time. But if it's like something, like I mean more like for example, like with my friends, a lot of them are like, man, like um like man, I'm already like 20 something, I gotta finish college, I gotta get a job, I gotta do this and this and this and this, and it's like, yeah, that's true, like you do have to, but it's like you have so many years ahead of you, like there's no rush, right? Like you have so much time to do these things, right? It's more just like you're getting in your own head and making it seem like it's way less time than it actually is. It is like time is like going by fast. I'm pretty sure that is like an actual study where it's time, like you perceive
Yeah,
time
as
to
you
go
get
by
older,
faster as
it
you
goes
get
by
older.
quicker.
Yeah, that is like an actual thing that happens, but it's like like um you can like you can definitely get it in your head and make it seem like it's going by way faster than it actually is, and I
When
think
when
that's where it becomes a problem.
when I think of that, like playing the game, like, oh, I'm wasting time. I always think of like the I don't know what to call it. I guess it's like a phrase, like time time enjoyed is not time wasted, no matter what you're doing.
Hmm.
So it's a good way to look at it. Like even if you're just driving, like driving home, I'm just like chilling, listening to music. It may take me 30 minutes, but I enjoyed it, so it's not time
Yeah.
wasted. I fucking hate work, so that's time wasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nathan, did you have to leave at
Yeah,
8:30?
Yeah, you gotta
yeah,
go.
yeah. Time went by
Yeah,
fast, or
true.
it didn't. Yeah,
Time wasted, right?
no. What was your phrase you said that if you enjoy it, it's not time
Yeah,
wasted?
time enjoyed is not time
Well,
wasted.
I still hated it. I mean,
Yeah,
what?
so wasted.
Yep, yep.
All right, we can wrap it up there then.
Yeah, we can wrap it. Okay. Well, Nathan has to go. That was what, like an hour, right? Already?
Roughly hour and a
More
half,
than
hour.
an hour
Yeah.
and a half? Yeah. So that was that. Thank you to everybody who watches and who made it all the way through, listening to us yap. We appreciate it. Uh, Still no definitive schedules, just whenever we have time. So, be on the lookout for that. Subscribe and, notifications and all that, whatever stuff YouTubers say. Thank you again. We will see you guys the next time whenever that happens. That's it. Bye bye.
Bye.
Later.